I'm Shelly Turner with the Builderall team. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up the opt-in page of our Amazon coupon funnel. Before we start changing anything, let's look at the structure of this website. So I'm going to go into the page icon, and I'm going to go into the Amazon layout. I'm going to click the arrow, and we're going to look at what pages we have. So we have the opt-in page, we have an instructions page, we have a contact us page, and then we've got 3 legal pages, including a disclaimer, privacy policy, and terms of website. So we've got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. The customer will probably focus on the first 2, which is the opt-in page and the instructions page. Those are the ones that the customer will pay the most attention to. So we're going to work on the opt-in page in this video. What we want to do first is we want to change the logo that's right here. Now I've got a logo that's a little bit bigger than this area, so I'm going to take away the grid that's above it by just clicking on it and hitting delete. And there's another grid below it. I'm going to click on it and hit delete. And then I'm going to make this grid a little bit bigger so it takes up this space. And then this picture right here, I'm going to change the image. And I'm going to go get the logo of the company that owns this light bulb product. So I would go to Amazon and get that logo. I've actually already done that. So all I'm going to do is go into my folder where I placed it. And there's that logo right there. I'm going to click on it to check mark it and then click confirm. And now I've pulled that logo in, and I need to make it a little bit bigger to fit the space that we created. So we'll just go ahead and make it a little larger. And then I'm going to right click that image and I'm going to choose center element, and that will center it inside of that column to make sure it fits perfectly. The next thing I'm going to do is change out the product picture. So I'm just going to right click on this picture and choose change image. And I'm going to go back into that folder where all my pictures are at, and I'm going to choose that product picture right there. So I'm going to check mark it and then click confirm. And that picture is way big for that area, so I'm going to just make it smaller so it will fit just like that. Make it a little bit bigger to fit in there. And then I'm going to right click it and make sure it's centered in that column. So there it is, centered. The next step I'm going to do is I'm going to change this logo right here. I think this is actually just text. Let's right click it, and you can see it's a text box, and I want it to be a picture of the logo of Amazon. So I'm going to go ahead and go into this grid item right here and delete it. And I'm going to go into that lower grid item and delete it because there's 3 of them and I really only need 1. And then I'm going to expand that grid item a little bit bigger to take up all of that space. And now I'm just going to get rid of this text box because I don't need it. And I'm going to go over here to this logo. It's a picture. I'm just going to copy and paste it, and it's a placeholder until I add my picture that I really want. So I'm going to right click this picture and go save or change image. When I do that, I'm going to go into my Amazon coupon funnel pictures, and I'm going to choose buy it now at Amazon and then click confirm. And you can see that it is a little bit big for the space we have, so I'm going to shrink it down a little bit. And then I'm going to make sure to right click and center the element. And that puts it right dead smack in the middle of that column, so it's nice and lined up like it's supposed to be. The next thing I'm going to do is change the pricing. There's pricing in a couple of places on this page. So let's go ahead and take a look at where pricing is at, and we'll make sure we get it changed. The first area is right here where it says normally priced at $11.99. The actual price of this is $17.99. And then the sale price is going to be $14.39. And then the discount is actually 20%, not 60%. Okay, so we've changed all that to reflect it correctly. We've got another pricing area right here, so we need to change this to $14.39, and it's normally $17.99, and this is for a limited time only. And we'll scroll down and see if there's any more pricing on here, and I don't see it. So we're going to go ahead and scroll back up, and we'll do the next thing on the list. We're going to start adding some more information right here in the what our customer said. So I'm going to go ahead and change that, and I'm going to make it say customer reviews. So now it says customer reviews, so it's a little bit different. And I need to go ahead and change this picture. I don't have a picture of the person that did the review, but I do have a picture that is different than the picture above of the product. So I'm just going to right click on this picture and go to change image. I'm going to go into my Amazon coupon folder, and there's the image right there. I'm just going to make sure to check mark it and then click confirm. And you can see I've got plenty of space to make this larger, so I'm going to get it in this corner and I'm going to drag it to make it larger and fit into this space, which is great. I'm going to go ahead and right click it and make sure the element is centered. So it'll move it a little bit right into the center of that column. And then I'm going to go ahead and change this right here to this text right here to text from an actual review from this product's website. So I'm going to open up my notepad because I saved one of those reviews. So here's my notepad, and here's the review that I was talking about right here. So I'm just going to highlight it and copy it and then minimize my notepad. And then I'm going to click inside here and highlight this text, and I'm going to click paste. And now I've pasted that review into that area, but you can see it's a little bit taller than it should be. So let's kind of move it out of the way and make our grid taller. And then drag it back in. And we need to change the person's name because that person is not the one that reviewed the product. It's actually another person. So all I'm going to do is change it from Christine Roth to verified purchase. And now I'm going to kind of move this box up so we can get rid of all wasted space. So that's adding the customer review. Remember, we added the picture and then we added the actual review, and we put verified purchase because we didn't have a name of this person. The next thing we're going to do is the product details, which is right here. So it says, do you want some details about your product? So what I'm going to do is go back to the Amazon page and I'm going to get the description of this product. So here's the product, and I'm going to go ahead and highlight Smart Light Bulb Works with Alexa. And we're just going to go ahead and copy that. And I'm going to go back into my editor and add that. So here we are into the editor, and I'm just going to click and highlight all of this and paste the information that I got from the Amazon store site. Now it did not change the formatting of that, so I'm going to go ahead and click all of it and change that to white and bold. And let's see how that's looking. Oh, that looks good. So I'm going to drag it up here. And I'm going to right click and center the element to make sure it's completely centered on our page. Okay. The next thing I need to do is go ahead and put our features on there. So I'm going to go back to the website. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put the features on there. I just so happen to copy those to my trusty notepad. So here's my notepad, and I've got all the features right here. So I'm just going to click and highlight them, and then I'm going to copy. And then I'm going to come back over here to the website. I'm going to double click to get in there. I'm going to leave that check mark there, but I'm going to highlight everything else, and I'm going to click paste. And that gets everything in there, but it's not formatted very well. So I'm going to create space between these, just like this. Great. And it looks like I'm going to need to make it a little bit taller, of course. So let's click in there and get that little handle and make this a little bit taller so we've got plenty of space. And now I want this exact check mark in front of every single item. So I'm going to click in there and I'm going to start here and drag. Now it doesn't look like it highlighted the check mark, but it is highlighted. And I'm going to copy it and I'm going to put that in front of all of my actual bullet points. Now it doesn't line it up really well. Don't worry about that. We'll make that look nice in a little bit. We just want to get that check mark in there. Once we get it in there, then we can start lining everything up. So I think I want them to all line up with this first one, or maybe even put this first one back a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and start lining these up. So I'm going to take this one and see if I can go back a little bit with it. And we'll just kind of play with the spacing a little bit. You can see that it's not perfectly aligned, but it's better than what it was. So all those are lined up pretty well. And I'm going to go ahead and highlight this area and bold it so it kind of stands out. Remember, we took this right off of the Amazon site. We didn't have to make it from scratch. The only thing we have to do is really try to make it bold and pretty on the site. There we go. So each of the bullet points are bolded, and we can close up some of this extra space that we have. There's my little handle, and I'll pull it up a little bit. And that should be good. So those are the product details. The next thing I want to do is work on the FAQs, or frequently asked questions. So in this area, we've got space for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I may not quite have that many. We're going to look at our trusty little notepad and see how many frequently asked questions we brought over. So here's our FAQs, and we're going to go ahead and just add these into this website. So the first one is it just a decorative light? So I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to paste it. Perfect. Then I'm going to get my notepad again, and I'm going to get the answer from there, and I'm going to copy, and then go into here, highlight, and paste. And you can see that it took on the formatting of the area. So let's go ahead and make this a little bit larger so that it'll fit into the text. And we'll pull up that column a little bit. And now let's get the second FAQ. It says, what hub does it need? So I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to highlight this and paste. And then go back to my notepad and get the answer. So here's the answer right here. I'm going to highlight it and copy, and then click inside of here and paste. I'm going to do the same thing to this area. So let's pull up our notepad again. And it says, what's the lumen output of these bulbs? So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to highlight it and paste. We're going to get rid of that space there, and then go back to our notepad and get the answer, copy, and paste. Beautiful. Notepad again. We've got one more FAQ. It says, is this smaller than a normal bulb? So I'll put that right here. And we'll paste that, and then we'll get the answer. We'll highlight it, copy, And we'll highlight all this and paste. Okay, so now we don't need these boxes because we don't have any FAQs. So I'm going to right click, try it again, right click. We're edit column and delete column. And then right click, edit column, delete column. And then we have this column right here that's still there. What about shipping? And it says it's free if you're a Prime member. That applies to this, so it all works. And I'm going to shrink this area up a little bit because it's taking too much space. And we'll try to shorten those columns just a little bit. There we go. And that's maximizing the space that you have to make sure that you're using the best amount of space possible. Don't have too much wasted space, especially when we're talking about the phone version. That will be really bad if you have a whole bunch of space in your mobile version. So we kind of closed up the ranks a little bit to get rid of some of that extra space. And now the next step is to go ahead and work on our pop-up. We need a pop-up for this page. So let's go ahead and go to plus and pop-up. And I don't have any pop-ups right now, so I'm going to click add a pop-up. And I'm going to choose this pop-up right here. It's kind of the same color as what our website is. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to name it. Just going to name it pop-up and then confirm. And we now have a pop-up that's available for this page. And it's got a bunch of stuff in there, and with a subheadline is really huge. I don't know why it's so huge. We're going to delete it because we don't need it. And then where it says your headline here, I'm going to say get 20% off your bold order. And then the next line, I'm going to put limited coupons. Limited coupons available. And then I'm going to kind of close that up a little bit. All right, so move that up and move all of this up. Remember, we don't want a ton of white space. Move that little padlock up. And then I'm going to move the actual box so it's a little bit smaller. There we go. So it fits in there perfect. So then I'm going to go ahead and configure this. Then I'm going to go ahead and configure this opt-in form. So I'm going to right click it and I'm going to go to button. And instead of it saying call to action here, I'm going to type in get your coupon now. And then confirm. So get your coupon now. Next thing we need to do is configure that form so it goes to the right place. So I'm going to click configure. I'm going to choose mailing boss. And then I'm going to choose one of my many lists. I'm just going to click this list right here. And now it's attached to a list. And then the next thing I need to do is tell it where to go once they fill out this form. So I'm going to right click it and I'm going to go to change URL. And I want them to go to that instructions page. So I'm going to click no action and return to previous menu. I'm going to click page and then I'm going to select the instructions because that's where we want them to go. So I'm going to click OK. I'm going to do the same thing on the subscription confirmed. So I'm going to click no action. I'm going to select the page that I want them to go to and OK. And then I'm not going to do anything for the unsubscribe confirmation. I'm just going to click confirm and then confirm again. So now we've actually finished setting up that form so that when they fill it out, they'll go to the instructions where they will actually see their code. So that's what we've done for that. We need to make sure that this form is going to fit on all devices. So I'm going to go to the plus button. I'm going to go to pop-up. And right here is the pop-up for the desktop. That's what we're looking at now. Let's see what the pop-up for the tablet looks like. So I'm going to click that. And this is what it looks like right here. It looks like I can make this a little bit smaller. So let's go to maybe H2 instead of H1. And let's see if we can maybe extend it a little bit. There we go. So now we're taking up the whole screen. I can move that up a little bit. I can move and center that. I can move this up a little bit and move the little padlock up a little bit. And then I can shorten that box. Okay, so that's the tablet view. Now I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the mobile view. So we've looked at desktop, we've looked at tablet, and now we're going to fix the mobile. Ooh, the mobile's a mess, isn't it? So we have to go up here to where this wrench is, and we're going to click the wrench. And it's going to line everything up for us. We can realign it if we want to. And line everything up exactly the way we want it. And close that a little bit so it fits in there. Move that little icon right there. And now everything's set up for the mobile. Looks great. So we can start to continue going on. We also need to make sure that our pop-up is connected to our coupons. So we need to go into our pop-up one more time. So I'm going to click plus and then pop-up. And I'm going to open up our pop-up. And I'm going to right-click on this form. And I'm going to choose coupon. And it lets me choose a list of coupons. I'm going to click the AMZ light bulb. And I'm not going to change anything on action after taking after submission. I'm just going to click confirm. And then I'm going to make sure that the other two areas have the same thing. So on the tablet, I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose coupon. And it's got the correct coupons there. And I'm going to choose the mobile version and right click and go to coupon. And it's got the right ones there. So everything's set up beautifully and is ready to go. So I'm ready to move on to the next step. And the next step is to make sure that all of the buttons link to the pop-up. So we need to go to all of these buttons. There's a button here, a button there, a button there, and a button there. So we've got 4 buttons to do. Let's go ahead and go to the top. I'm going to right click this button. I'm going to go to action, and then I'm going to go to pop-up, and I'm going to choose that pop-up we created, which was named pop-up. So I'm going to click that and then click OK. I'm going to do the same thing to the next button. Right click, action, pop up, choose the one that's called pop up, and then OK. I'm going to go down, right click, action, pop up, choose the name pop up, and OK. One more, right click, action, pop up, pull down and choose pop up, and then OK. And now all of those are configured and ready to go. The only thing we need to do now is we need to work on the timer at the very top. Now, if this is an offer that doesn't end, then you don't have to put this in there. But let's say that this offer ended only after a certain number of days. So we can right click that timer and we can go to edit and we can choose an ending for this. Now this one comes in as evergreen. But I can click evergreen and then choose to assign a date. So we can say that this offer is only lasting until a certain date. So let's go ahead and click our calendar. And let's say it only lasts until Friday. Okay, so that's like 4 days for this offer. And then I click the time and I can choose the time that I want to end it. So I'm going to go 11. So I've got 12 o'clock a.m. We can change the size of our numbers. We can actually give it an action once this counts down, meaning we can redirect to a page. Now, when this counts down, everything on this page is going to still be available. So if you want to redirect to another page after this action is done, after this timer is done, you can redirect to a page that says coupons are no longer available. We're just going to do no action right now. But always remember in the back of your mind that even when this coupon timer runs down, this page will still be available and active, and they can still click to get the coupon. So you want to make sure that if this thing runs down on you, that maybe it's a good idea to redirect to another page once that coupon goes down, and that page can say no more coupons available. Okay, so that's why you would use the redirect to page. You can also change the font of the timer and the colors. We're going to go ahead and keep it exactly the way it is, and I'm going to click confirm. And now I'm going to click Save to be able to save all those changes that we've made. And now we're ready to move on to the next video where we're going to talk about setting up the instructions page.